Why is your body quietly shutting down after 60 without you knowing it? Senior health. Are you truly living or just existing? Have you ever woken up, gone through the motions of the day, eating, walking, talking, yet felt strangely disconnected inside? Like the spark is gone, like nothing really excites you anymore, like you can no longer feel anything, not even within your own body. Here's the shocking truth. This isn't a disease. It's not aging. It's a silent disconnect from your body, from your physical senses, from your capacity to experience pleasure, touch, and vitality. In this video, you'll uncover one of the most overlooked reasons why so many people lose their spark after 60 and what you can do to reclaim it. You'll discover how to revive that deep sense of aliveness without medication, without complicated routines, just by reconnecting with something you already carry inside you. Stay with me until the end, because the final part may be the wake-up call your body and soul have been waiting for. This isn't just a video, it's a journey back to your body and back to the life you deserve to feel, fully, deeply, and now. Number 1, silent signs that your body is shutting down. You don't always notice it at first. It's not like a heart attack or a broken bone, nothing dramatic or loud. But one day you realize you don't laugh as easily. The food you used to love now tastes bland. Music doesn't stir your heart the way it used to. You go through your daily routine, eating, walking, maybe even chatting with others. But something's missing. The colors of life feel faded. You no longer feel like you're in the driver's seat. It starts with small things. Your morning coffee doesn't excite you. You forget why you walked into a room. You sigh more often than you smile. You sleep more, but wake up tired. You're not in pain, but you're not at ease either. There's a dullness in your chest that no doctor can diagnose. The truth is, your body is quietly shifting into survival mode. Not because of age alone, but because something deeper is slowly being turned off. Your connection to physical and emotional sensation. You stop reaching out to people. You stop touching your own skin. You sit more, feel less, and start to disappear inside your own silence. You stop looking in the mirror because you're not sure who's looking back. Your body becomes a shell that moves through the world, but no longer interacts with it. And this isn't just emotional. Biologically, your nervous system begins to dull. Blood flow slows down. Hormone production shifts. Without stimulation, physical, emotional, sensory, the body starts to shut down functions it thinks you no longer need. Your skin becomes thinner, your memory foggier, your energy low. You crave less because you expect less. You no longer look forward to things. You simply wait for the next day and then the next. This is not living. This is quiet decay disguised as getting old. But the tragedy is not aging itself. It's the belief that this is normal. That after a certain age, you're no longer meant to feel alive, connected, or even joyful. That's the real danger, because when you accept that numbness is your new normal, you unconsciously tell your body to stop trying. That's when things decline rapidly. That's when life becomes a flat line before the end ever arrives. But it doesn't have to be this way. These subtle signs, disinterest, dulled pleasure, emotional flatness, fatigue, are your body's way of calling for help. Not with pills or procedures, but with connection. What your body wants is not more time. It wants more life in the time you still have. If any part of this feels familiar, it's not too late. But first, you must stop pretending that this emptiness is just aging. It's not, it's a signal, one you can choose to respond to, starting now. Number 2, loneliness, the silent killer after 60. Loneliness is not just a feeling, it's a slow and silent killer, especially after the age of 60. It doesn't show up in blood tests or medical scans, but it creeps into the heart, the brain, the immune system, and slowly erodes everything that makes life worth living. You don't need to live alone to feel lonely. You can be surrounded by family, by noise, by people, and still feel like you're disappearing. After retirement, after children move out, After the loss of a partner or a close friend, silence becomes louder. You wake up and there's no one to say good morning to. You eat and there's no conversation at the table. You go to bed and the darkness feels heavier than before. Over time, this lack of connection doesn't just hurt emotionally, it damages the body. Scientific studies show that chronic loneliness increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, stroke, depression, and even early death. It is as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. But unlike smoking, no one warns you about loneliness. No one tells you that not being touched, not being spoken to, not being seen can cause your brain to shrink, your immune system to weaken, and your spirit to slowly give up. And the cruel part is, loneliness feeds itself. The more you feel alone, the more you isolate. The more you isolate, the harder it becomes to reach out. You stop calling people. You stop going out. You say you're tired, but what you really mean is you've forgotten what connection feels like. Your voice gets quieter. Your body stiffens. Your eyes dim. It's not because you're old. It's because you're unspoken to, untouched, unseen. Humans are wired for connection, for warmth, for presence. Without it, our systems shut down. Hormones like oxytocin, the bonding chemical, drop. Cortisol, the stress hormone, rises. Your blood pressure climbs, your sleep deteriorates, your will to move shrinks. Eventually, your mind follows. You forget how to laugh. You forget how to feel joy. You forget that you're still here, still alive. And the worst part, you start to believe this is normal. That loneliness is just part of aging, that it's too late to reconnect. But it's not. The body and the brain can heal, even in the later stages of life, if you respond. If you reach out, if you let someone in, even a voice, even a touch, even a moment of shared presence. The antidote to loneliness is not a crowded room. It's meaningful connection with yourself, with others, with the world around you. One conversation, one honest moment, one act of reaching out can start the reversal. But first, you must stop pretending you're okay. You must recognize that loneliness is not just a mood, it's a threat, and you have the power to fight back. Starting with one choice: don't stay silent anymore. Number 3, social taboos, but you need to break them. There are rules society doesn't say out loud, but they're deeply rooted, especially when you reach a certain age. After 60, you're expected to be quiet, invisible, emotionally subdued, and physically passive. You're told directly or indirectly that desire is inappropriate, touch is unnecessary, intimacy is off limits, and expressing your body is shameful. You start to internalize these messages without even noticing. You stop wearing colors you love because you think you should dress your age. You stop dancing, touching, or being affectionate because someone once said it looked odd. You stop exploring your body or expressing sensuality because society says it's not for the elderly. But here's the truth. These taboos are killing your spirit. They strip away your humanity layer by layer. The need for touch, pleasure, emotional expression, and even sexual connection doesn't vanish with age. It transforms, but it doesn't disappear. You may not crave the same things as when you were 20, but your body still longs to feel. Your heart still longs to be touched. Your mind still longs to connect through joy, passion, warmth, and play. The idea that aging should be cold, sterile, and asexual is one of the most harmful lies we've ever accepted, and it has serious consequences. When you suppress natural urges out of shame or appropriateness, you suppress your life force. Blood flow reduces, hormones drop, sleep worsens, mood declines. You become a ghost of your full self, physically present but emotionally muted. It's not just about sex. It's about reclaiming your right to feel alive, to laugh loudly, to dance slowly, to say, I still want joy. I still want love. I still want pleasure. And you should. Age doesn't cancel desire. Shame does. And that shame was never yours to carry. It was handed to you by culture, by past generations, by systems that made the elderly feel like they should fade quietly into the background. But you don't have to. You have the right to rewrite your story, to wear what makes you feel beautiful, to touch and be touched, to express sensuality without asking for permission, to cry, to laugh, to flirt, to feel. These things are not embarrassing. They are deeply human. If you deny them, you deny yourself. So break the taboos. Let people talk. Let them misunderstand. You are not here to be palatable. You are here to be whole. Wholeness doesn't end at 60, 70, or 90. It grows, but only if you let it. The moment you reclaim your body, your voice, your pleasure, that is the moment life starts over. Not youth, not fantasy, but real, grounded, present moment vitality. The kind that makes you feel like you're still writing your story, not waiting for the last chapter. So stop apologizing for being alive. Live fully, feel deeply, and break every rule that ever made you feel small. Number 4, spiritual sex, healing therapy without drugs. Sexuality is not just about physical acts, and it certainly doesn't expire with age. What most people don't realize, especially after 60, is that true healing often begins not in pills or procedures, but in how deeply we reconnect with our bodies through spiritual sexuality. This isn't about performance, intercourse, or living up to society's expectations. This is about awakening the quiet power that still lives within you, the ability to feel, to sense, to touch, to breathe, to exist fully inside your own skin. It's about recognizing that your body is not broken or irrelevant just because it has aged. In fact, your body still holds wisdom, sensitivity, and the capacity to generate profound healing energy when you give yourself permission to experience it again. After decades of holding in, giving to others, or simply surviving, you deserve to return home, to yourself. Spiritual sexuality isn't about sex in the way most people understand it. It's about intimacy with your own being. It's about lighting a candle, breathing slowly, placing your hand over your heart or your belly and simply feeling, noticing what your body is saying, feeling your breath move through you like a wave, allowing your skin to be touched by yourself, not for a goal, but for the sensation of being alive. This form of connection lowers stress, boosts endorphins, enhances circulation, rebalances hormones, and reawakens emotional flow. No medication can replicate that. You don't need anyone else to do this for you. You don't even need to undress or follow a script. You just need to show up with presence, patience, and compassion toward your own body. This is how healing begins, not through perfection, but through attention. You start to soften. You start to breathe deeper. You start to feel again. And with that feeling comes warmth, vitality, and hope. You begin to smile more, move more, sleep better, and even digest food more easily. Your body starts to trust you again. And all of it, is possible without a single pill. When we were younger, sexuality was often rushed, goal-oriented, or tangled with guilt. But now after 60, it becomes sacred. It becomes a way to honor your life, your journey, and the temple that carried you this far. It becomes a soft return to joy, a re-entry into presence, a gentle celebration of what still works, what still moves, and what still matters. No one teaches this. No one talks about this. But this is the missing medicine for so many aging hearts and bodies. The right to feel, to enjoy, to heal through the power of spiritual connection. Not because you need to prove anything, but because you deserve to feel whole again. You deserve to remember that your body is still yours, still alive, still sacred, and the healing you've been searching for may already be inside you, waiting to be touched with love. Number 5, self-touch, the act of recharging life energy every day. Self-touch is one of the most overlooked but powerful ways to restore your life energy after 60. It's not about sexuality in the way most people think. It's about reconnection. about reminding your body that it still matters, that it's still alive, that it still deserves care and attention. After a certain age, people stop touching themselves, not just sexually, but in any conscious, caring way. They stop massaging their legs. They stop stroking their own arms. They stop holding their own face with kindness. And when that happens, the body begins to shut down emotionally and energetically. The nervous system goes numb. The skin becomes dull. The flow of life, blood, sensation, hormones, memory, joy, slows. You begin to feel like a machine instead of a living, breathing human being. But here's the truth. Your body is not just a vehicle. It's a living memory bank of every emotion, every experience, every joy and every pain you've ever felt. And when you touch yourself gently, mindfully, with no rush and no shame, you awaken all those hidden reserves of energy that have been buried under years of stress, neglect, and silence. You don't need anything fancy, just 5 minutes in the morning or before sleep. Rub your hands together to warm them up. Gently place them on your face, your chest, your stomach, your legs, and wherever you feel called. Breathe slowly. Feel your skin. Feel the temperature, the texture, the response. Your body will begin to respond. Blood will flow. The nervous system will awaken. Oxytocin, the hormone of connection, will rise. Cortisol, the hormone of stress, will drop. You will begin to feel safe again. Grounded, present, alive. This kind of self-touch is not sexual, and yet it is deeply sensual, in the purest sense of the word. It reconnects you to your senses. It tells your inner world that you are still here, still worthy of attention, still capable of healing. Over time, this practice can reduce anxiety, improve sleep, enhance digestion, stabilize blood pressure, and even sharpen mental clarity. It can change how you walk, how you breathe, how you look at yourself in the mirror. Because every time you touch your body with care, you send a powerful message to your soul. I matter. I'm not done. I choose to feel. So many people are looking for energy in vitamins, diets, or expensive treatments, but they ignore the simplest path, their own hands. Your touch has the power to heal you, to charge you, to reawaken you. Not because something is broken, but because something sacred has been forgotten. Self-touch is not indulgence, it is self-respect. It is a form of prayer. It is the daily ritual of coming home to yourself, one breath, one hand, one soft moment at a time. And once you remember how to feel again, you'll remember what it means to truly live. Number 6. New perceptions of old age health. Health in old age has been misunderstood for far too long. For decades, we've been told that if your blood pressure is okay, your cholesterol is normal, and your bones aren't broken, then you're healthy. But that definition is not just incomplete, it's dangerously misleading. Real health after 60 is not just the absence of disease. It's not just managing medications or getting annual checkups. True health is about how alive you feel inside your body, how much joy, energy, clarity, connection, and presence you carry in your daily life. You can have perfect numbers on your medical chart and still feel dead inside. You can walk fine, eat right, and still feel like something vital is missing. That's because health is not only physical, it's emotional, it's mental, it's energetic, it's spiritual. And if you don't understand this, you can spend the last decades of your life surviving instead of truly living. Aging is not just about decline, it's about transformation. But society teaches us to fear aging, to see it as a problem, a disease, a sentence. So people stop listening to their bodies. They stop exploring their emotions. They ignore the signals of loneliness, numbness, disconnection, and fatigue until those signals turn into illness. But what if those signals were not problems, but invitations? What if your low energy isn't just getting old, but a sign that something deeper needs attention? What if your body is asking you to slow down, to listen, to reconnect with sensation, with joy, with inner alignment? This is the new understanding of health. Your body is not just a machine, it's a mirror. It reflects your inner world. If you carry unspoken grief, it will show up in your posture, your breathing, your digestion. If you suppress emotion, it will show up in tension, inflammation, chronic pain. And if you disconnect from your own senses, from pleasure, touch, beauty, creativity, your entire system begins to dull. Not just your body, but your will to live. This is why people fade in old age, not because they're broken, but because they've lost connection to what makes life worth living. So real health at this stage of life must include more than medicine. It must include meaning. It must include movement that brings joy, food that nourishes not just the body but the soul, relationships that are honest, and moments of self-reflection, self-kindness, and emotional expression. It must include rest, ritual, sensuality, and space to simply be. You are not just a patient, you are a person, a whole, evolving, sensitive being. And if you treat yourself that way, with compassion, attention, and care, your body will respond. It will surprise you. It will come alive again. Not like before, not like youth, but with a deeper, quieter strength. A health rooted not in numbers, but in presence. That is the kind of health that lasts. So if you've been feeling numb, disconnected, or like life is quietly fading, remember this. Reconnecting with your body is the first step to reconnecting with life. You were never meant to live like a shadow of yourself. You have the right to feel, to enjoy, to express, and to live fully, not just survive, all the way to the very last breath. Your body is not broken, it's waiting for your attention, your kindness, your presence. And the moment you choose to return to it, even gently, even slowly, that's when healing begins. You don't need permission to feel alive again. You already have that right.